Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hello crypto friends, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and BNB BTC on the daily time frame and some other time frames as well. So we knew to be cautious on the fourth day of the bounce when we see, an extended move on declining bull volume. Again, when you see declining bull volume, it tells us the bulls are running out of momentum. We're hitting exponential resistance, which have given the bulls trouble in the past on bounce attempts. And we were just a little bit extended. We need healthy consolidation. So we were in a scenario where if you are already in a position, you're fine holding that position. There's no reason to exit. I'll go over that exit reason that occurred fairly recently. But talking about overnight, there was no reason for bulls to sell. It was just continuing hourly higher lows. So bulls already in were just fine, but people looking to get in anytime in the last 12, 18 hours, the risk to reward is not there in your favor for bullish continuation because we had already bounced for 3 days and we know a higher low is going to have to form sooner rather than later. So this is a bearish reversal gravestone doji forming right now. Still a couple hours left, so we'll see how it closes. If tomorrow we break the low of this candlestick, the odds of confirming it and pulling back are likely. And I would say an ideal scenario for the bulls on a higher low on the daily time frame, if we could form a higher low maintaining 8,200, 8,300, the low $8,000 range, that would be ideal. If we get back anything more and drop down to 8,000 or lower, that's a big red flag. The bulls want to see a bull flag here, and a bull flag ideally would hold 8,400, just brief consolidation before continuation. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye out for. The 4-hour time frame, pulling back to test these exponential moving averages. So here we are testing them again. Every consolidation on the 4-hour has tested and held these exponential moving averages. We'll see if that can remain the case overnight tonight. So what was our exit signal? And this is a nice example of why we need to be cautious and not make any bull entries and rush to have any FOMO. So here is our hourly higher lows of support. And as long as the hourly higher lows, the bulls remain in control, every consolidation low is a base of support. And then when we break it, it's a clear exit signal. So not only is it if we break it, but it's how we led up to the break. So the support was 8,970. If that level breaks, that's the exit signal. And look at all these stop losses triggering on all these hourly supports breaking. Not only was that a signal, but a bull break of this equilibrium. We had our high, low, lower high, higher low, bull break, and then no follow through, big upper wick. Because that's the preceding action, I definitely want to be out on a loss of the higher lows on a bull break with zero follow through. So resistance is now 9,174, the top of this move. Clear support break, had the bears follow through. And this is another example where if this were, at the start of the bounce, this pattern, I absolutely would have bought this bull break to be looking for continuation. But because this is on day number 4 of the bounce, it's a completely different scenario. And the longer term time frames tell us we don't want to be entering on this bull break. Again, let's just look at the daily. Because this was occurring on the 4th day, we don't want to enter on that bull break. If that was on the 1st or 2nd day, absolutely we want to enter on that bull break and look for continuation. So it could be the same setup on the hourly, but it's the daily longer term perspective that has us, looking at the pattern differently as to whether we would act on a key signal or not. Right now, we're forming an hourly bear flag. It's a weak bounce attempt on no bull volume. We just set another resistance level at 8,957. Look at the previous support, pretty much acting as resistance right now. So there's our lower high of resistance, 8,957. And if we drop back down, the low is support, 8,745. So those are the 2 key levels that I'm watching right now as we head into tonight. 8,745 and 8,957, essentially a $200 range. And again, the odds of a bear flag are pretty high right now due to the lack of bull volume on this bounce and due to the upper wicks of profit taking on this bounce attempt. So again, we're looking for healthy consolidation. There's no red flags at this point on the daily. Essentially what I want to see is a higher low and a higher high on the daily to make this weekly chart very clearly an equilibrium pattern. And I want to see this chart go into the upper $9,000 range to put us right smack dab in the middle of this tightening range. And then we'll take it from there. So step number one, healthy daily consolidation. Red flags would be increasing bear volume on any time frame. Not really any time frame. I'd say hourly or higher. Increasing bear volume would be a red flag. And we're looking for the daily higher low and then higher high. So it could be a couple days of consolidation. We need to be patient. Also want to highlight the first oversold bounce. When you're in a bull break and in a bull trend, which we've been in the past 3-4 days, and you hit 5-minute and 15-minute RSIs oversold for the first time, you usually get a solid bounce. It's just a rule of thumb, and it's something that I go off of. So look at here on the 5-minute time frame. Remember when we're in a downtrend, the 5-minute RSI would get to 20 often. When we're in an uptrend, the 5-minute RSI bounced right off of 30 once. It bounced just below 30, right off 30 a few times, then just below 30. But really when the bounce got going for real, it was the 5-minute RSI under 30, and it was the first time the 15-minute RSI had hit 30 since the bull break occurred. So it's a nice signal. Again, it's completely dependent on the preceding action. If we are in an uptrend for a long time, the first 5 and 15-minute oversold RSI generally gets a nice trade for just a quick flip. You know, you don't have to try and hit the home run and go for continuation of the trend. You can just say, okay, I'm going to get in and hope for a $100 or $2 flip, or $100 or $200 flip. So that's usually a pattern that I keep an eye out for as well, and we saw it play out here on Bitcoin. Ethereum on the daily time frame, you could make the argument that this daily is a bear flag, and it's nowhere near a bear flag on Bitcoin nor Litecoin. And the one reason that I personally would argue that this is not a bear flag is because of the size of the lower wick on that bounce day. If that lower wick wasn't there and the low of the day was where this white line is, then I would call that a bear flag. But this bounce is taking back a significant portion of that drop because that lower wick is a part of this bounce. So it's definitely something we need to be aware of, but still anticipating a daily higher low to form here as well. We are still oversold on the daily. This RSI is still right around 29. So it's the same thing. It's an upper wick. It's a bearish reversal candlestick telling us consolidation is likely coming. The 4-hour time frame still has higher lows. 515, or actually 516, is a little double low and must hold level on Ethereum for the bulls. And here's the hourly time frame, very similar to Bitcoin. Higher low, higher low, higher low, and the bear break of 572, clear signal, stop loss is triggered, and now a potential bear flag on a weak bounce attempt, declining bull volume on the hourly, and watching support now. So similar to Bitcoin, again, the correlation here is so strong. I'm just doing the same exact thing I just did. The low is support, 545. The high of the bounce is resistance of 565, $20 range, similar to Bitcoin's $200 range. So that's what we're watching on Ethereum overnight. Same thing with the 15-minute time frame. It hit a little bit more oversold, but as we know, we need to be watching what Bitcoin's RSI levels are doing. But what it did do is send us some good signals here on the alert system. So the ETH 15-minute abnormal volume signaled after the bear break once all the stop losses started triggering, and then the 15-minute climax oversold alert was at 548, and we ended up bouncing a nice $15 from that point. So oversold climax alert, that tells us the RSI levels are at extreme points. And so if the ETH RSI is hitting levels that are going to trigger this alert, we know it's in the low 20s. And with Bitcoin's 15-minute RSI just breaking 30, that's when we start looking for the bounce to play out. And it certainly did. So again, these kind of plays, the first 15-minute and first 5-minute oversold bounce coming off of a bull trend, I always want to lock in that profit short term, because that's coming off of a fresh signal that we're getting our first real consolidation on the hourly time frame, which is what has happened on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I don't want to try and enter after we just got clear hourly bear signals. I'm only entering for a quick oversold bounce. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going for the home run here and trying to hold that trade long. So here's Litecoin on the daily. Same thing, potential bearish doji rejecting from exponential resistance. We'll look for healthy consolidation and a daily higher low to form. Bull MACD cross on Litecoin to keep an eye on. Let's see Bitcoin on the daily. Bull MACD cross right there as well. This cross is not going to happen if we consolidate and have a red day tomorrow, but it's going to be ready to go if we get the higher low and then the bulls make their way back to the high of the bounce for an attempt at that higher high. So back to Litecoin, 4-hour time frame, testing exponential support just like Bitcoin. In terms of correlation, Bitcoin and Litecoin certainly stronger correlated to each other than Ethereum is. Hourly time frame, same as the other two, very clear higher low pattern lost. Higher low, and our higher low here at 172.19. We then had a double top, higher low, lower high, lower low, volume flush. So that was a clear signal there. Also a potential bear flag now. A little bit of a stronger bounce on Litecoin, but similar scenario. So the range we're watching, get rid of some of these lines. We are looking at support down at 165.14 and resistance of 168.60. That's the range that I am concerned with heading into tonight. BNB. So BNB on the weekly time frame, this bounce is coming off the low of consolidation, and it was a very strong bounce, but we have to keep in mind to change this trend, this was just step number one. Step number one is break the lower high pattern. Step number two is form a higher low and then see continuation. So we're forming a weekly inside bar. We're going to be watching that into next week as this is likely to form with a few trading days left in the week. The daily chart is looking to form a higher low. So at this point, support is down at 0.001 essentially. If we round a little bit, we've got a new resistance, 1139, and then I'm looking at 1157, 1168. So a couple resistances up there. Must hold daily level here. If this level breaks, we're still in consolidation mode, and the bulls are going to get back a pretty significant amount of this bull break that we saw if we do break this 0.001 level and continue to pull back. So bulls really want to hold that 0.001 and just try and see continuation back up over these lower highs. You can see these little, let's look at it on the 4-hour time frame, these clear lower highs on these bounce attempts, and we are looking at changing that with a higher low and then a higher high. Bulls are trying to form that higher low right now. So if you wanted a tighter support level, 0.00106. So that's the range on the 4-hour time frame to be watching for BNB. Let's get some more details on the hourly. I like that 4-hour range. I like that viewpoint there. That's what I would be watching here. And if we get a bull break in continuation, we should likely break a bunch of resistance levels and head back to the high of the bull move, which is why this resistance at 1139 is important. So that's where we stand on all these names as we head into tomorrow. Congrats to the bulls, a nice 3-day, 4-day bounce on the back of news and some short covering. We're now looking for healthy consolidation. We need that higher low on the daily, and then we're going to be looking for potential continuation, and would love to see Bitcoin make its way up to just under 10,000. And honestly, the reason I want that to happen is not so I can make some profit, but it's really to have a nice picture perfect weekly equilibrium that we talked about in the last video to be looking at into April. So I appreciate you watching. We'll check back in tomorrow and see how this consolidation goes. Again, keep an eye out for those red flags. Increasing bear volume on the hourly time frame is a red flag. And a reminder, if you are on TradingView looking at GDAX or Coinbase, you want to be looking at Bitfinex or a different exchange to double check that volume. So thanks again. Continue to do good things. Let's see, what good things can we do today? Call somebody and tell them you love them. See you tomorrow.